Well, hello and welcome. I'm coming to you from not our normal location, but from our beach retreat in Florida, where I'm taking a little bit of time off with Sarah to sort of recover from the bar exams. And, I just can't stop thinking about the test. I'm one of those guys. And as I was thinking today, we were kind of talking about our grandson, who's now 18 months old, and it occurred to me that he's doing something, or his parents have taught him to do something that just blows my mind. He may have like the smartest parents in the whole world, and they do these verbal cues with him. And one of the verbal cues that they do, when he gets really frustrated and he wants something, which 18 months old children I think do a lot, they have taught him the verbal cue, patience and self-control. And what this little 18-month-old does is he stands up and they say, Adam, patience and self-control. And he balls his fists up like this and he says, patience. Now, beyond the fact that 18-month-olds could say the word patience, which kind of blows my mind, he does this thing with his fists and then he lets go. So it's like he's done the Sedona method, at 18 months old. He lets go and he's relaxed. He's fine until whatever comes up. And I thought about that and I thought, patience and self-control is kind of a big deal at this particular point in time. And I wanted to share that message with you because I think what happens is that you're probably in one of two groups right now. You're either someone that just took the bar exam and you're waiting for your results. And man, for you, patience is a killer. I mean, you can barely get through the day because you are thinking so much about the test and when the results are coming out and what happens next and jobs and all the things that come with that. And patience is really hard to come by. Self-control, you might have remembered right before the exam you didn't have much self-control. You were flipping out if the taxi was late or the barista didn't make your coffee the right way or your parents made an innocuous comment about how much smarter your sister was. I mean, whatever it was, just sent you into a rage. And so patience and self-control for you really have been two big things. And they're going to continue to be that way for a little while as you wait for your results. So I want to encourage you, just be patient. Find other things to do. Find social work to do. Find internships. Find volunteer opportunities. Read the book you've been always wanting to do. Take the trip you've wanted to take. Do something to get your mind off of waiting for the bar exam. But demonstrate patience. It's an incredibly important skill. And the results are going to come out, and they come out when they come out. And, the soonest exam results are still a good 3-4 weeks away. In other cases, we're talking about a couple of months. So you're going to have to show a lot of patience here. Now, the second group that really needs patience and self-control are those of you that are now thinking about taking the next bar exam. And for you, you've already started to hyperventilate. Gee, do I have enough time to get ready for that test? Well, yeah, you do. You've got plenty of time. You need to be patient with yourself. More than anything else, you need to be thinking about working steadily, being what I would describe as a plugger. I like the no-drama plugger kinds of students. They just come in, they do what they're supposed to do, they keep plugging at it, they do a little bit every week, and they just keep working. I far prefer that to the high drama, high octane, I'm not going to do anything until 6 weeks before the bar exam, and then I'm going to create a cloud of dust and a whole lot of chaos, and everybody's got to conform to my particular crisis. And it sort of reminds me, and I've used this example elsewhere, but when I was in undergraduate school in the financial aid office, there was a great sign above the financial aid director's desk that said, "Your failure to plan is not my crisis," which I always thought was, pretty snotty, but probably pretty accurate too. And I think there's a certain truth here as well. If you're thinking about taking the next bar exam, get started. I mean, don't delay. There's no advantage to delaying. There is no upside to studying for a shorter period of time. Now, some of you have been brainwashed into thinking the test is about memorization and therefore you should study for just a short while so you can keep it in your brain. Duh, that doesn't work. And the better way to learn is to absorb and use knowledge, which comes over repeated use over a period of time. So it's a lot easier on you. It's much easier to put in 10 hours a week of study for several months than it is to put in 70 or 80 hours of study for 5 weeks, which is what some of you inevitably are going to do. So you want to show some patience and self-control right now by getting them started and then working steadily. I think one of the things that I worry about when someone starts at this point is how do they get started? Do they do a little bit? Do they get a steady stream of work going? That's what I'm looking for. Some people start and don't do anything. They're so patient they fall asleep. Some people get started and they freak out immediately, and there's just a barrage of communication and a barrage of questions and a barrage of activity, which is all well and good, except that I know you can't sustain that for a really long time. And part of that is just self-control. It's just, instead of sitting down and reading the study guide and doing it step by step systematically as it's laid out, or if you're a football fan, and this just gags me, but Nick Saban calls it the process. If you're doing the process, you should be fine. It's the people that get all the material, they throw it all up in the air, they make a disaster out of everything, and it's all chaos to them, and then they wonder why they're, frantic. Well, you need to work as an attorney systematically. You need to show patience and self-control. And so one of the things that I've learned to do, for myself even, is to just say patience and self-control. And then I think to myself, look, if the 18-month-old can develop patience and self-control, then certainly the old guy can learn patience and self-control. And that's what I would encourage you to do at this point in time. Demonstrate patience with yourself, patience with the people around you, patience as you begin your studies, if that's what you're doing, or patience as you're waiting for your results. And then demonstrate self-control. Really, don't be a victim. Don't let all the other things in life beat you up or push you around or push you from one end of the room to the other end of the room. Have self-control. If you can develop self-control about the bar exam process, then there's very little in my mind in the practice of law that's going to be any more stressful or any more difficult for you. And so you've already mastered one of the big skills of the test, and that is that whole idea of having self-control. So for those who are waiting for their results, patience and self-control. For those who've begun their studies for the next exam, patience and self-control. And I'm going to go back and enjoy the beach for another couple of days because, I've got a lot of patience and self-control.